Welcome to the Live from the Pen podcast, hosted by Smoke D, who was featured on UGK's Riding Dirty album. This ain't just a podcast, it's a movement. Live from the Pen is where the unheard get heard, where the forgotten get remembered, and where change starts with a conversation. We bring you stories from behind the walls, stories of pain, purpose, progress, and power. We're talking about men and women fighting to rebuild their lives, families trying to hold it together, and communities pushing for something better. This is an interactive prison reform platform, a place where you'll hear real voices, see real growth, and feel what redemption truly sounds like. No filters, no fake narratives. Just raw truth and the realities of incarceration, transformation, and survival. We're breaking the silence, we're breaking the stigma, and we're building bridges from the cell block to society. So tap in, stay locked with us, and be part of the change. Because when we say live from the pen, we mean living proof that progress is possible, that redemption is real, and that every voice, no matter where it's coming from, deserves to be heard. For more Trill content, hit us up at TrillLife7613.com and join the Trill Life community, where truth, unity, and progress always stay true. Now reporting live from the pen, your host.
Yeah. Once again, like before, it's your boy Smith Note, representing Trill Life, representing UGK for life. And tonight we have a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen out there in TV, internet, wherever you're watching from, we have Mr. Charlie Braxton as our guest tonight via satellite, if you will. And we have another guest who's going to participate shortly, God willing. Brother Charlie, how are you?
I'm fine, Smoke. How are you, brother?
Man, you know, we're alive, you know.
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Man, you're welcome. You're welcome, brother. Thank you for coming. Man,
I don't do too many of these things, but you asked me, so I definitely was honored to do so.
Right, man, and I'm honored to have you, bro, for real. Just got back in town, you know, and I know we spoke on it earlier about the situation with the things that are going on around here. I don't know too much about it. Like I said, I just got back in town. I don't have a dog in the hunt. And so, you know, you really can't give an opinion without knowing half the facts. I'm not that kind of guy, you know. Mm-hmm. And so I still don't know enough about the situation. We just gonna call it the situation because I don't want to say I don't know anything. I ain't nobody, but it's a hot topic around here. People, they want to hear something, but I don't know what to say. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the phone number up there. And once we get the phone number up there, y'all can call in and expound on the situation, you know. And we know I don't know what it is. I'm not, you know, I don't know anything to give an opinion that would be acute because I don't have all the facts. So with that being said, Brother Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Man, tell us a little bit about who you are for the ones that, you know, may not know, if you will.
Okay. My name is Charlie Braxton. I am a writer, social critic, music critic, cultural critic, pontificate, pundit, whatever you want to call it. I also am a poet and a playwright, and I've written screenplays as well.
Yeah, well, I'd like to add on some things to your accolades that you didn't mention. You're also a music historian. I know that.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're also a historian of Black history.
Yes, sir.
And the issues that, and this is just me now, for me knowing you because we've had a long relationship over the years, and I'm excited to have you here. But a lot of people don't know, and so then you're more into Pan-Africanism, or you have a world mind. So you know,
yes, sir.
That entails a lot of things that we can get Brother Cross. I mean, I'm looking at Donnie Cross. What's up, Donnie? I see you. Donnie,
what's up, Jack? Peace.
Okay, one check. So yeah, man, you know, to just touch on different subjects, you know, as it pertains to how things outside of our demographic, you know, far reaching is from, you know, Ibrahim Traore and the guys over there in Africa. What's the place? Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso and the Sahel Alliance. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that what a lot of us don't understand, particularly how those of us of African descent, how our struggles align with the struggles in Africa, is very simple. Uh, we most Black people, whether they want to claim it or not, um, their ancestors are from West and Central Africa. Now, I know
Mm-hmm.
there's some brothers out there who say, "Oh, I'm Native American," and you may be Native American. You may have some Native American blood, but I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you, if you do your DNA, if you look like me or you there's some African blood in you.
Right.
Um, when you look at, say, for instance, the Chinese or the Indians, they don't say I'm brown American. They say I'm
Right.
Indian American. They say
Right.
I'm Chinese American. And when
Right.
there's a problem with the Chinese, remember when the COVID happened and people were abusing the Chinese people as
Mm-hmm.
a result of China, us trying to deal with China and deal with them internationally. Chinese let it be known diplomatically they didn't like that. And you know what happened? Soon as Biden got in office, he created the Chinese, what was it, the Anti-Chinese Hatred, Anti-Asian Hatred Act. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're connected to a landmass, Malcolm X said it best, real power is international. So if you have a group or a landmass that has natural resources that the United States or whatever country, if you're in France or England, wherever Black people are, we catching hell because we don't have a landmass that we control or we're connected to or identify with that identifies with us that can actually put pressure on the government here to do right by us. That's what Malcolm X was trying to establish before he was murdered. And I think that's the reason why he was murdered.
Because he was trying to pull people together on a world scale. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people don't even know King had Pan Africanist ideology. He was there when Kwame Nkrumah was inaugurated. And Richard Nixon, at the time, who was vice president under Eisenhower, saw him there and reported to the CIA that he was there. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when the CIA got on him.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI was already on him, but that intensified it because the last thing the United States wants to see happen is African people link up with African Americans for two reasons. One, we know America, we know how America functions.
Mm-hmm.
We can explain that to our brothers and sisters. The second part is, again, once we connected with them and they understand our struggle and we understand theirs, there's
Mm-hmm.
a whole new power dynamic that takes place in the world.
Right. So this, in essence, what you're saying, like this show is formulated around it. It all goes back to comprehensive, transparent, and truthful communication.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
looking at our ground zero and the demographic in which we coexist now, let's just say the Jackson area, right?
Right.
What can we do here right now that would, I know that the power is broader than us, but what can we do from the bottom of this thing besides wait for the power to come down to us? How can we, because a tree grows two ways. It grows down first before it grows up. And so how can we grow up from this powerful root that we need to put together by communication? How can we do that? What can we do other than keep learning how to communicate and know the power of words? Is what I'm saying.
Well, I agree with know the power of words. First of all, we have to create what Kwame Nkrumah talks about, penetrating the African personality, or
Mm-hmm.
the New African People Party, or the RNA. called us New Africans, meaning that we had African blood, but we have an American experience. We have to lean into both of those things. Two things can be true at the same time. I can be an American and still have African ancestry and still love and connect with our African ancestry.
Right, right.
You know, I think one of the things we need to do is look at where we are. If you're talking about our concrete conditions now, is look at where we are right now and what's happening. You alluded to, you called the situation, and I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but my children grew up. My children grew up in West Jackson,
right?
Not too far from the street they're trying to change.
Okay, well, like I say, I'm glad you brought it up because
listen. Let me say
a hot topic. But now let me ask you this here now.
Go ahead.
Because, like I say, what do you think? What do you think about the situation? Like, what do you think? You know, are there deep-rooted issues? I know there are, but what do you think? What's your opinion of that?
Okay, I'm going to ask a fundamental question. Okay, I'm going to ask you this question, and you answer it as best you can.
Okay.
I've lived in Jackson from age 3 to 7. Moved to Macomb, came back, went to college at Jackson State, left, came back 12 years later. I've been here ever since 1991. Okay.
Right.
I pay taxes here. I pay property taxes here. My son pays property tax where he lives in West Jackson.
Indeed.
West Jackson hasn't changed very much economically since I've been here. Okay.
Now I'm beginning to understand what you're getting at now. Like, yeah, come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That particular ward has been ruled over in a city council area, has one city council who has seen what? At least 3-4 mayors. Nothing's changed in that community. So changing the name without changing the economic conditions is not going to solve the crime problem. It's not going to solve the crime problem.
So in essence, what you're saying is that instead of being concerned about changing the name of the street, you should be changing you should be changing the conditions of the people that actually live on the street.
Exactly. Change the conditions, then you can begin to change the behavior.
Now, Brother Charlie, that tastes like fried chicken, what you just said, didn't I? That makes sense, because like I said, I don't pretend to know I was gone. I came back to this, and so yeah, I mean, that sounds about right, because I mean the sign doesn't need heat.
No, it's not the sign, it's the conditions. It's the economic conditions.
Yeah, so
I mean, let's say we changed it to Little
put
Street.
The number back up there, because somebody may want to call, and if they do, because we need to, we need some people to respond. Don't no negativity, just resolutionary stuff now.
Yeah, let's say we change the name to Little or whatever street they want to change it to, and then the people who still live there are still struggling with the same issues. They just got a different street name.
But I'm saying, what is the issue?
That's like putting lipstick on a pig and calling it Marilyn Monroe.
Okay, John. Let me ask you this. What is the real issue with the sign anyway?
I think the people who live there have an emotional attachment, a sentimental attachment to the sign. The same way, whether it's the elders who live there and grew up there, who remember it, they're emotionally attached to it. So I understand and sympathize with their emotional attachment. You don't need to change the sign. That's not going to help them. They want safe communities. They need people to get out there, these so-called OGs, some of the older people who used to cause the problem. Now it's their time to get out there and get with these young brothers who are causing the problem and talk to them, mentor them.
Right, indeed, man, and that seems to be the way, you know. But in any situation, whether you're growing forward or you're growing backwards, you're gonna have growing pains, and so you know we'll see, because like I say, I'm you never know, you know, what the result of a situation will turn into, you know, and I'm the type of person, you know, I can't, and this is only me speaking for me. I pray for everything, but I don't expect anything from people or situations. It's just about God. So this is a hot topic, you know. And as we get into it, because like I said, I know of, you know, Brother Bat. I don't know Brother Stokes. I don't know. I know Clay. I know of all of them, but I don't know, you know, what's going on enough to expound on
Well,
it.
I mean, I don't know either of them anyway. I'm just looking at the broader
You're
picture.
looking at the situation
Right.
in
I'm
itself.
looking
It's
at the
about the
broader
street
picture.
side, and it
And
should
then
be about
again, we cannot leave the city of Jackson out of this and the city of Jackson's neglect. But
right.
the people in that ward elect a certain individual to serve and represent that ward.
And that's been Brother Kenneth Stokes, yes.
And that's been Brother Kenneth Stokes. Okay, you called his name. I didn't, but that's his name. We know his name. But I'm asking a critical question here.
Mm-hmm.
If I elect a representative for my area,
Right.
I have an agenda, or the community should have an agenda for him to bring to the city council.
Like
And
the street sign or something, you know, they would
like the street sign. I don't know who brought that up to the agenda, and I don't really care.
right.
But what I'm saying is, if that whoever brought that up, if that's the most pressing thing they have, when you got crime, you got unemployment, you got blight, that's what you brought up. You don't give a, excuse me, I'm not going. You don't care about the community if that's your pressing issue. If you're going to waste that much time,
Yeah.
come with an economic development program that the city can get behind. Come with some mentorship programs. Come with some community development programs.
Right.
The young kids need something to do. Summer job programs. It's a lot of stuff you can come with that can help improve the conditions. And then once you improve the conditions, you'll find people will be proud to have Wood Street as their name.
Right.
If that's your claim that that's the problem. But I don't think that's the problem. I think that's, again, window dressing. Again, you put lipstick on a pig, old muddy funky pig, and then telling us I'm just being honest.
And you know what, bro? I get it. You know, that's why, you know, I mean, I'm not a politician in the least, to say the least. So it seems to be more at play. It just, to me, it seems like just some more personal, a little bit more personal, just to be honest with you.
Well, hey, I'm not in that. I'm telling you the broader picture. For instance, if you look at the city of Jackson, all right, when I was going to Jackson State, there were a lot of businesses in Jackson. Okay. When it was discovered that the city of Jackson's demographic was changing, and when that demographics changed to the point where Black people took hold of the political apparatus, the money moved and the businesses moved, and that eroded the tax base of Jackson, which limited Jackson's ability to do certain things like provide a lot of city services.
Right.
Okay. And the city started deteriorating.
Mhm.
What
So
is neat?
go ahead.
That's the same situation going on in South Africa.
What,
Right now,
what do
you
you?
got Black South Africans attacking Black immigrants, people from Ghana, people from Nigeria, people from Zimbabwe, Namibia, who have come there seeking a better life because South Africa is one of the most developed countries in Africa. But the poor Africans who were there, the conditions under which they live in are squalor. But
Mhm.
the government, the government that runs the country hadn't put the resources to build up those areas.
Mhm. And so you're saying it's
Primarily,
the same here.
it's a
So you
parallel
saying it's
situation.
right. And so like, but for us, we're not as big as Africa. Like, instead of addressing, it seems like nominal things, wouldn't it be more? Wouldn't it just be more? I don't know. I don't want to be using any big
Okay, no,
words.
no, no. If
Wouldn't it be
you
more
let me
conducive to go at that? Just look at the 1890 law, like the stuff that's going on over here. That's apparent. That's in your face. Like, because for us, I want you to explain how voting is an important thing to do within what's going on from not only here but in the world abroad, because we all have to communicate the same thing.
Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. I mean, I think it's important that we vote. I do think it's important that we vote, but we got to vote for the right candidate.
Mhm.
Okay. If we keep voting for the same candidates who do the same old, that ain't gotten us any further, that's the definition of insanity, which is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
But I mean, yeah, and I agree with that. But like, I mean, what's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican when the conditions stay the same? Like, shouldn't you be looking at the policy? Like, not looking at the illusion, looking at the
The
policy.
community has to come up with the policy and the agenda.
Right.
Okay, one of the things that I remember Chokwe Lumumba Sr., he
Mhm.
came with a plan called the Kush Plan.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
that plan, if would have drastically changed our city conditions.
Mhm.
We need a group of people to come with a plan. The community needs to get together and develop a plan
So
and
yeah,
demand from their government. Just because you vote somebody in, you can't just walk away and say, hey, he's in there, let him do his thing. If he don't do his thing, you put pressure on him.
well, you mean, and then that
If
that
he or
that
she, excuse me, I'm sorry, sisters. If he or she doesn't do their thing, you put pressure on them.
right. So there is a thing that we must do to grow in a cohesive way with the situation from here and abroad by uh, simply transforming these neighborhoods into communities, because there is a distinguishable difference. You know, a neighborhood is just a bunch of people that coexist and live beside each other and don't know each other. A community is a collectivized group of people that live in the same and share. They share and work with ideas together. So that seems to be the way. And like, it's gonna take a vote to do that, to get the people with the pure hearts in the right seats that, and I don't know if that's necessarily gonna ever be the case when, you know, they don't run that no way. You know, they have to go by the system in which they're in. I don't know.
Well, I think it's twofold. You work within and without. Those who are within have to look to those who are without. I mean, it's up to us to build our community. It's
Right.
up to us to get to know the kids in our neighborhood.
Mhm.
How many people actually know the kids in their neighborhood? How many people know their neighbors?
How many people scared of the kids in their neighborhood? You know, but
Well, I mean,
it's all because of the lack of communication, and that's the
the lack
thing.
of communication. Well, but the thing is, I'm not afraid of young people. Young people come in and out of my house all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's so many people that are though, you know, and it's all about the media and the messaging that's been put out there. You know about all this stuff, Charlie, the subconscious psychological slavery and all of that stuff, more
Yeah.
so than I. Um, but yeah, voting seems to be because I mean, you can't talk about something unless you're doing something about what you're talking about. And brother, put that word up there for the day. The word for the album's got it. The word for the day is O-file. O-file. Something that you love. O-file. I think you spell it wrong, brother. It's O-P-H-I-L-E. O-file.
Yeah, it's a Greek root word.
Yeah, and it's like the love of something. If I'm this drinkophile or Mike, something that you love.
Bibliophile. Bibliophile. That's a lover of books.
Bibliophile. Okay, then you got like a clean file.
Audiophile. Yeah, audiophile, lover of audio or sound of music.
Right, right. And so to show you how this word O-file works, we're gonna take a little time. Brother, pull up the word Cline. C-L-I-N-E. C-L-I-N-E, Cline. I think that's how you spell it. And so, it's C-L-I-N. I'm sorry, C-L-I-N. Clean. And so, clean is a word that means one who likes to sleep in the bed, right? But when you put clinophile in there, it changes the definition to one who likes to study in the bed. They love to do everything in the bed. They love the bed, right? And so just showing you how words combine together, because it's more than just learning the word. It's learning the root word as well. Just something to share with you guys. And so the word of the day is climb. One who loves to sleep in the bed. So, Charlie, are you a clinophile? I am. I love the bed.
I love the bed too. Yeah. I do a lot of work, believe it or not, in bed. A lot of my writing now takes place in bed because of the situation that I'm in.
Indeed, indeed. So yeah, man, moving on, just to the situation, because I know that you're a pan thinker. The situations here, I know that they may seem a little nominal to you, but give us some insight as it pertains to what we can do on a just treat me as if though I'm ignorant. Not dumb, but ignorant. I'm unknown, unlearned. So
okay, well, I mean, if you're going to me, like I tell students all the time, you live now in a world where there's a library literally in your pocket. And that's this thing right here, your phone. Your phone is a library.
What's up, Leo?
It's a library.
Right.
Anything you need to know or want to know, all you got to do is Google it.
Well, you know what though, Charlie?
But don't
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hold on. The first thing you do is learn about the situation. It's like the scientific method, recognizing the problem, right? Right. So we agree Jackson has a problem.
Indeed.
All right. So let's look at how that problem came about, how it evolved. Yeah. I briefly talked about the tax base.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that the answer is within the problem. You just got to study.
You got to study the problem. Once you study the problem, you come up with a hypothesis or a theory as to what went wrong and how to solve it. Then you test the hypothesis.
Right. And you know what? This is an interactive prison reform podcast. So to all of you brothers that recently have made it out of the penitentiary, understand that your body is still out here, but your mind is still in there because you're used to everything that's going on. It's a psychological thing. I don't want to go through all of the extra and explain maybe later in one of the prison stories or whatever. But get that phone and Google what you need to understand. Don't
Yeah,
listen to nobody.
yeah.
That
Don't
phone will
listen.
tell you everything you need to know. If you want to know
Read,
about a purple pig and a red wig, Putin outfit,
read, read,
go.
study. Yeah, read and study. And if you don't like to read, there are books that will read. They're talking books.
Mhm.
So, but read and study. I
Yeah,
think that's one of the major things, that particularly for young people.
yeah,
Young
man.
people, we
Go
need
ahead.
to encourage them to read. You
Right.
know, you can watch a TikTok and it can spark your interest, but don't
Mhm.
think you know everything because you watched a 2-minute TikTok.
Mhm.
Go read about the subject you're interested in. If
Right.
you're interested in politics, read about it.
Yeah.
Get involved. Join an organization or form an organization.
Indeed.
One of
Mhm.
my great mentors I had an opportunity to meet and talk with on several occasions was Kwame Ture, aka Stokely Carmichael, and that's one of the things he constantly said. I don't care what organization you join, but join one
Yeah. Or create one.
or create one. If you don't
Do
find one
something.
that suits your liking, create one.
Yeah. Do something.
Do
Just
something, and then but make sure that organization is doing something positive for the community.
yeah. And like I say, and with this show, everybody's the star. Nobody's bigger than anybody. And like I say, I don't want to be remiss by helping the people out there to understand that this is a us thing. This is a talk it out thing. This is for the people that already know what real trouble like thing. You know what I'm talking about? It's a good thing. It's a God thing. Brothers like Brother Charlie, you know, you know, he knows a lot. But with the situation being like it is in the state of Jackson, being in the state of everybody needs everybody. And we're not gonna be able to do anything until we can figure out how to communicate properly and put
Yeah.
some things together. More, we putting things together. There's a lot of brothers out there moving and grooving. Don't get me wrong, but we need more.
Well,
We need
I
more.
don't. One of the things I do not want people who are in Wood Street to think that we're not concerned about them, because we are.
Right.
I think, me personally, and this is not you or whoever, I think that that proposal to change Wood Street name was wrong. I said it on Facebook. I'll say it again. It's wrong.
Yeah.
What you need to be changing is the economic conditions. And you
Right.
also might need to think about changing leadership. If for 30 years you've had a leader who has not changed the economic conditions.
Well. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Hey
keeping it
man,
one.
you got your
And
opinion, man. Like that's what this show is about. It's not nothing to go against nobody. Ain't nobody gonna be.
no,
It's,
it's politics. If I'm in office, I don't
Mhm.
care if it's me, Smoke. If I'm
Right.
in office and I'm not doing what the people need done, and I can't explain to them why I can't get it done, then I need to be removed, whether I want to go or not.
So does the changing of the? The, I can my mind won't let me not be serious. So does the changing of the name have to do with something economically at all? Any kind of money involved? Is it kind of help
Not that
coming
I
with the
can
change?
see. I can't see it.
Is
I
any
mean,
change
the
coming with the help?
explanation that I saw on television and in the newspapers was, and somebody can call and correct me if I'm wrong, that they wanted to change the name because the perception of Wood Street was that it was a dangerous area. So if
Oh,
I live in a dangerous area, right? Let's just say um, I live in Vietnam during the 1960s.
right.
Okay,
Mm,
and there are bombs and bullets flying everywhere.
right.
I'm deciding, well, I don't, I want to change the name. So maybe people will want to come here and catch a bullet with me.
It's like,
I need
I
to stop
mean,
the
I
war
mean,
first.
like,
I need to stop the war first.
okay, well, if changing the perception, how does changing the street sign change the neighborhood? Like,
No, you
I don't,
change the reality.
yeah,
Then the perception changes. Perception follows reality.
yeah. So there's a perception.
What did
There's
our
a
grandmothers used
perception.
to say? Ain't no smoke without fire.
So there's a perception. They want to change the street name because of the perception that
And,
Wood Street has brought over the
and leave
years.
the reality there.
And so changing the name is not going to change the economic
Thank
so
you.
the community. So that's where you said that. So yeah, that's why I don't know about politics, man. Like I say, you know, ain't nothing gonna happen without God allowing it. So maybe this is something, that you can look at it from a lot of different ways, actually. And I'm not sure because, like, it's the difference in knowing between, what's right or what's wrong or what's good or what's bad. Like, if I broke my hand and then they say, oh, it's bad, but then the next day, they might enlist everybody in the army that got two hands. So is it bad or is it good? You know what I mean? So I don't know in that aspect of it in that regard, but
Well, we can say that an economically viable Jackson with
mm,
jobs for people who want jobs, who need jobs,
mm,
where they can, and I'm not talking about jobs where they're getting minimum wage, because minimum wage, Smoke, you can't even rent an apartment on minimum wage now.
you need a living wage and
You need a living wage.
and that's probably not going to work. I mean, the way the economy is now, how high gas is, and how high, groceries and those different things are. I mean, you can tell that it's getting to a point to where we're either going to come together by choice or by force. You know, in my
Well, it
opinion.
looks like unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be the latter. Because I don't see this economy getting any better. It'll get better if you're wealthy. If you're a billionaire, this is going to be great for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're working class or poor, it's not going to get any better.
If you don't make the necessary adjustments, like invest in some land, learn how to plant your own food, because it looks like food is going to be the new money in the coming days.
Food and water, one day, trust me.
So,
Speaking of water, what's going on with the water situation? Did the city, didn't they? Okay, let me leave that alone, Charlie. I said
I have no idea except for
I wasn't going to talk about stuff like this.
we
here to talk about Pan-Africanism. Ask me something about Pan-Africanism, Smoke.
That's the point. I don't know nothing about Pan-Africanism like you, man. I know
Okay, all right.
I know that who found the $20 trillion worth of gold over there they didn't report. You could talk about Ibrahim Traore and the Sahel.
Ibrahim Traore. One of the things that's very important about that brother is he is one of the few people on the African continent, along with the rest of the people in the Sahel Alliance, and that's Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. What they have done is they have overthrown the puppet leadership in those countries who were giving away their natural resources to France and the rest of the Western countries, including Saudi Arabia and China, and they were giving them away for pennies. And then the leadership at that point, before Traore and the rest of the Sahel Alliance leadership took over, were not using the little profits that they were getting, the peanuts, and putting them in the services like roads, infrastructure, lights, building factories and things of that nature to take care of the people. Ibrahim Traore overthrew those regimes, renegotiated the contracts with the foreign countries, saying, okay, from now on, you were used to getting maybe, we were getting a 70-30 or a 60-40 or less than that. Well, now we want a 70-30 our way. We get 70, you get 30.
Mm.
And you're going to pay market price for our gold. You're going to pay market price for our uranium. Burkina Faso was basically lighting up the city of Paris, really the entire France, because they were using nuclear power. And they were getting that from the uranium from Burkina Faso.
So I see
France,
that. Yeah, I see.
France's,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Francis, what? Go ahead.
France's entire economy revolves around those African colonies.
So what you're saying is when they kick France, when they cut ties with France as far as minerals and whatnot, now they're in a state of peril. Yeah.
Because the French now are saying, look, we're not going to survive if we don't get these minerals at a cheap price.
Right.
I mean, imagine, let's take Ghana, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at one point in time, Ghana was one of the major producers of cocoa.
Mm.
All right. The Ghanaians didn't set the price for the cocoa they grew.
Mm.
The West set the price.
Right.
They would sell them the cocoa. They would sell the West the cocoa. The West would take the cocoa, process it into candy, cocoa, whatever other products you make from cocoa, and then sell it back to the Ghanaians.
Mm. Man, like I wish we could all be so broad, and we can. Like I say, it's just about keeping the communication open, and we learn, we die learning. But Charlie, we're gonna take a station identification break for We Believe Digital, man. We're gonna go to a commercial break. Y'all stay tuned. Sound like somebody bamming out there. Charlie, and we are back.
Yes, sir.
Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Man, listen, I really was looking forward for Spoonio to get on here, but I know he's in there. He's asleep now. It's probably about what time? It's probably about 2 o'clock over there.
Yeah, it's probably about 2 o'clock in Accra. Yeah.
He probably went to sleep on us, bro. But listen, man, I want to thank you for coming on this show. I want to have you as a reoccurring guest because we need the communication gap to be, your thought process and the things that you write about are worldly issues, which means that you're important as it pertains to communicating to people that are seeking, and up under that umbrella and seeking all the way to the ones that, can't even read. It's a bunch of people here that they need people like you, like us, to be able to speak in a way of understanding, because if we don't, then the ignorance is just going to keep attacking the intelligence. And
well, I would be happy, Smoke. If you ask me to come, I'll definitely come. If I have the time, I'll make the time.
Yes.
Also, I want to plug, if I can, I have a column on medium.com. Just go there and go in the search engine, type in my name, and you'll see all of my columns. I deal with issues on a geopolitics on a global scale, national scale. Again, I thank you for having me on here.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. I hope somebody learned something from me. I wish that I had more time. That's all.
Yes, sir. We always have it, Charlie, just in the process of life. So yeah, I guess I want to get some plugs in. Go out if you haven't heard it yet. I have an album that I recently released called The Book of Smoke. It's on all platforms. We have a website that you can go to for direct consumer contact. And soon we're going to be taking logos to put right back here on the screen for all of the people that support us. And if you do want promotion, you know, you can get in contact with me. You know, we can promote your product or whatever you got going on, music or anything like that. I don't have a number on display for this week, but next week I will have a number for you guys to contact me. And whatever you're doing, you're trying to get promoted or get some music or something created, whatever. But until next time, y'all stay up. Uh-oh, my brother pulling it up. Hold on. So yeah,
it's a great album too.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. We just got back from New York. And thank you too, Doug. I see you, Decade. Yeah, man. And you know, God,
call me, man.
Deck Charlie said, call in, bro. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I really enjoyed you. Y'all tune in next time. It's, you know, True Life. You know what I'm saying? It's live from the pen. It's UGK for life. We are here at We Believe Digital. Shout out to Mr. OG, Mr. Sock for, you know, making all this possible. Tune in next time. And until next time, y'all stay up. Peace.